Hello, and welcome to Metachemistry. This is episode 147, and this time we're bringing a mission briefing episode to you. Our mission briefing episodes are episodes where we take a look at generally an ITS mission, and we break it down. We talk about the basics of the setup and scoring and how to play the mission before diving a little bit deeper to talk about what sorts of things you're going to want to have at your beck and call for these missions. And so for this episode, we're going to talk about corporate appropriation, one of the missions that was introduced in ITS 17. But before we get into that, we do want to take a moment to thank Mo Games, sponsor of Metachemistry. And Mythic's Online Emporium is an online supplier of Infinity you can find over at mo-games.com. And as part of their sponsorship of the show, all of our paid patrons of any level get a 10% discount code to that store. And in addition, we raffle off a $40 coupon code each month. And to enter that raffle, you just join our Discord, select the role for Mo giveaways, and that's it. You'll just need a US address for Mo to ship to. Because what's better than games? Mo Games. And for this mission briefing, it is Ian and myself. And Ian, I think that finally passed. I think all the U.S. satellites have happened now until the season ends. So I know we've had a lot of interviews lately, so there hasn't been a lot of checkup time. But how have things been in your world? And any updates on your gaming endeavors or the like?
Yeah, it's been interesting. Unfortunately, so it just recently finished out my basement and moved all my stuff in there, and then had to move it all back out because the flooring got messed up and expanded, and there wasn't enough room, and it buckled. So I had to have them come in and fix that. But
it's brutal.
It's still, we're waiting on the painters to come back and fix the paint where they had to take the baseboards off, because they had to, basically utility knife, cut the seam and then take those off and put them back on. But then there's scrapes and dents and new nail holes, things like that. So so haven't had a lot of ability to do stuff because of that, with just not having a workspace currently. So it's been interesting. That said, trying to get Infinity where I can, a little far and few in between at the moment, between that and work and family stuff. Although we have been getting into some, there's a relatively new edition of Drop Fleet Commander. So we've been playing a little bit of that, and it's actually a significant improvement. For those that don't know, there's a game called Drop Zone Commander, which is a 6mm tabletop war game, sci-fi setting. It's okay, but the fleet version is actually super cool, because one of the biggest weird gripes in space fleet games is that there's usually no reason for you to be fighting, because why would fleets ever just meet in the deep of space and then fight? It's just not a thing that's realistically ever going to happen, just with how massive space is and things like that. Why are you there? This one, it's very objective based, and the whole thing is that you're in orbit over a planet and you are trying to land troops and take cities and zones below you, or bombard them off the map, kind of thing. And it's actually super cool because there's a legitimate reason for your forces to be opposing each other in this area. So a lot of fun. Also has a super cool weapons system, because most games, weapons have ranges. Not this game. Every weapon has infinite range because you're in space. But can you see your target? So every ship has a sensor range and a signature range. And if your sensor range meets the signature range of the enemy ship, you can see them and you can attack them. And there's things that will cause that signature to increase that different orders. Like if you're like, I'm gonna go weapons free and fire all my stuff, you get an energy spike, and it makes it easier to be seen. So there's a lot of cool concepts. That's a lot of fun. Definitely recommend checking it out if you're into fleet-based games at all. It's a blast.
Nice. Yeah, I was a little worried at the beginning. That didn't sound like a particularly strong endorsement, but we got there.
Well, like the regular ground combat one, which they are working on a 3rd edition of that, which should be coming out soon. They're starting to preview it. Like, it's fine, but to my mind, it doesn't really do enough to set itself apart from other kind of massed army war games. The setting is kind of like, okay, it's a sci-fi setting. Yes, there's guys. Yep, there's a bunch of them on the ground. Yeah, they fight, and you roll a bucket of dice, and you'll pick things up. Like, it's fine.
I see.
The fleet game, that's where the uniqueness of the rule set really makes it shine.
Very cool. Yeah, well, for me, I've been trying to get more games of OSS in. I've had a pretty good turnout lately at some of the local game nights after the lull from the league. We're starting to pick back up again, which is great. I haven't been able to play as many of them as I would like, though, just for various family and health and similar issues kind of cascading all at once. But
yeah,
all getting better, thankfully. And beyond that, mostly just trying to try out new things, trying to working a little bit more on the Infinity RPG that I have been dabbling in with the Genesis system from Fantasy Flight Games. I have a setting agnostic RPG system, and so I've been converting rules over to play in that. So I've been trying that out, and that's been fun to get back into that. And yeah, so good stuff all around. But as far as our topic tonight goes, we're talking corporate appropriation, or which prototype am I supposed to break again? It is a little confusing. Like, it doesn't seem like it should be on paper, but I feel whenever I'm at the table, like, I need to take a moment to remind myself at the beginning of each turn, hold on, what am I supposed to do with that one? But Ian, do you want to start us off with the scoring for corporate appropriation?
Yes. So, relevant to this is that there is the table setup. So there's going to be 2 prototypes along the center line of the table, 12 inches in, and there's going to be a 4-inch exclusion zone to either side of that center line. And then right in the center of the 12-inch deployment zones, so 12 inches up, 24 inches in, there's going to be a panoply on each side. So relevant to how this is scored. So at the end of the game, if you have the enemy prototype captured, so it's in the possession of one of your models, you get 2 objective points. Additionally, at the end of the game, if you have the enemy prototype captured and it's in your deployment zone, you get a 3rd point. At the end of the game, if your prototype is not captured by the enemy, you get 1 point. That's only if the prototype has not been destroyed. Because at the end of the game, if your prototype is destroyed, 3 objective points. And then at the end of the game, if you have acquired more weapons or items from the panoplies than your adversary, you get an objective point. And then 3 classified objectives to round it out. So this becomes very important on the scaling of it. You have to go get the enemy's prototype. You're trying to steal it, and you have to destroy your own or prevent them from stealing it. Bunch of classifieds, pull a bunch of weapons. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I like the theme of the mission. It's pretty fun. One thing that I remember on first reading was kind of confusing. Like, wait a minute, I want to break my thing. Like, yeah, you're trying to destroy your evidence of whatever has been made here, and you want to steal whatever your opponent's making. So, a couple to keep in mind on the prototypes. First off, whoever is second in initiative order is going to pick which prototype belongs to which player. So there is some advantage in going second in that, particularly if there is terrain that is going to make one more or less accessible. Eventually, you need to get to both anyway. But typically, and we'll talk about this later, keeping the one your opponent has to grab, making that one harder to get to. So your prototype, that's the one you ideally want to protect better. And again, we'll go over that in a moment. But otherwise, they can't be attacked in the first round other than the pickup prototype action. So when someone's trying to steal a prototype, you can steal it first round, but you cannot start damaging them first round. If you try and damage them, your options are to use either an anti-material close combat weapon or placing decharges. That's why the panel plays are there. And if you use the CC weapon, it triggers the automated defense system. So the ADS will trigger. You can't add any bonuses to your CC score. So if you have martial arts, your CC will stay flat, but if you have special die or extra burst, those will still apply. But you can't modify the actual CC attribute itself. So Berserk +3 or CC attack +3 or martial arts 2+, etc. And the prototype always counts as succeeding a success on a roll of an 8. And so you have to beat that 8 in order to apply damage. And it's got a modest line of armor and BTS 6 with 3 structure, and it is silhouette 3. Now, it is a token, so it doesn't block line of sight or movement, but just in terms of how big it is, mostly that it's a 40 millimeter marker is kind of the most important part, I think.
Yep, and notably, if you do fail your CC attack against it, it hits you with a PS5 stun hit that ignores immunity enhanced and immunity BTS.
Yeah, so it's definitely packing a decent hit in return. If you fail, there's a good chance you're not going to get more attempts at zapping it.
Yeah, but and you can repair the yours on a Gizmo kit pH of 9 if you need to bring it back up to prevent your opponent from destroying it.
And you can target it with the engineer skill as well. So
yes.
If you're looking for something more reliable, you can do it that way. One thing that is also kind of worth noting is that once it goes to exactly 0 structure, it will then be picked up off the table. So there's no repairing it from unconscious or the like. It just goes away once it suffers the 3rd structure.
Mm-hmm.
Also kind of interesting, compared to from previous seasons, looting and sabotaging, there are no points for partial destruction or damage to it. It's either you break it or you just keep your opponent from holding on to it. But that's it. It doesn't matter how much you wreck it unless you take it off the table.
Yeah. Now, as far as capturing it, you need to pick it up. And it looks like that can be any trooper can grab it. Doesn't have to be a specialist, which is nice. And you just have to be in silhouette contact and use your short skill without needing a roll. You just grab it and pick it up. Now, there are some additional rules to picking it up. The biggest one is that the trooper carrying it cannot declare move as their second basic short skill. So you can't move. You are stuck doing a move and something else because it's kind of heavy.
Yep. You move dodge.
Now, so if you have the baggage skill, you can move, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, good old Margarita guard.
Yeah. And then normal stuff, only models, not markers, can carry the prototype. Must always be on the table. It remains in silhouette contact with the trooper carrying it. And if the trooper carrying it enters or is in null state, you drop it there. And then, and they don't block movement or line of fire.
Yeah. And then, of course, there are the 2 panoplies you talked about at the beginning. You just need to be a trooper, make a whip roll, and if you pass, you get to make a roll on the panoply chart, or you can choose, instead of rolling, to just take decharges automatically, so that way you have guaranteed options to hit the prototype. And one of the nice things about using decharges for this method is that you don't trigger the ADS. There's no roll. You just hit it.
Unless you really need to try to swing at it for somehow you have a CC high enough with the -6 in critting it.
Yeah, I guess.
You just need to get that extra one in to really go for it.
I can't imagine that scenario panning out in my head, but theoretically, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think best you could get is a 19 with the -6, but yes.
I guess if you were martial arts 4+, or you had +1 burst to your CC attack, then maybe it's worth a -6 to get 2 attempts at swinging at it.
Yeah,
maybe, because I mean, AP explosive PS6 is better than
Musashi or
many units.
Or Kitsune could, swing on a 19 twice with that, yeah.
And a special die. Yeah, but I mean, Musashi's weapon already hits harder.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's PS4 off the top of my head. But Kitsune can't hurt it because monofilament does not destroy stuff.
Yeah, it's not anti-material.
It's too fine a cut. It still functions. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, so that's kind of the general layout of the mission and kind of what you can expect. And again, you were trying to capture the one belonging to your opponent, and you're trying to destroy the one belonging to you. So it's funny, I've seen 3D printed widgets out there for smash and grab, and you can put it on one of the tokens and rotate it for like towards which player. So you can say, okay, I'm going to turn the smash side towards me and grab side towards you. There we go. This one's mine. It's kind of fun because, I don't know why. It doesn't seem like it would be that hard to keep track of, but it is something that I feel like I have to double check regularly during games of corporate appropriation.
Well, and especially if things started getting moved around. Like you each grabbed the one you're trying to grab and they got moved and then dropped, and maybe they're in a similar area. Yeah, I don't remember which one's which.
Yeah, it can make it a little tricky, especially if you're using like identical markers, which I tend to do, because I'll just use, here's my objective tokens.
Yeah.
So, yeah. One thing that I think is also worth mentioning is that there has been, previously there was kind of a loophole where you can apply the targeted state to a prototype utilizing Forward Observe or Spotlight or what have you, and targeted. And while it wouldn't cause damage because it's not an anti-material CC attack, you could then fire guided ammunition to basically blow up anyone who happens to be carrying said prototype. Luckily, that has been patched out because there's a note under the prototype that they can't be the target of an attack that would also affect other troopers, enemy or allied. So you can't splash damage onto someone carrying it just because you target it. You can still target it, but it doesn't actually help you.
It does absolutely nothing now because it will not help you in CC either.
Exactly. So, yeah, now that we kind of have the lay of the land, as it were, there is an exclusion zone. I don't know if you had mentioned that.
Oh, I mentioned that.
Oh, okay, good, because I missed it. There's a 8-inch band, a 4-inch on either side of the centerline exclusion zone. But what are some things that kind of jump out to you as far as units or general types of lists that you think will pair well into this mission? What are you looking for if this is on the docket?
I'm looking for infiltrators or forward deployment guys that have anti-material weapons or mine layer. I want those guys to be right up there so that they can lay mines near the one that I need to capture to prevent my opponent from destroying it, and having my anti-material weapons closer so I don't have to spend orders on them to get up there to destroy the one I need to destroy. That's like super huge order efficiency. The less orders I have to spend getting there, the easier the mission's going to be. And then, some long range AROs to kind of lock down corridor advances towards those. so that my guys that are up there have a little more survivability. Of course, if those guys are in a camo state of some type, or even better, hidden deployment, so much the better, just to make them more protected for when I need to do the things with them.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that infiltrating units are going to be super valuable. Like a Dacia mine layer immediately comes to mind as an example, as it's fast at 6-2 move, so you don't have to deploy right on the edge of the exclusion zone. You could be, somewhere that might be slightly more advantageous and still reach it. He drops 2 viral mines to protect the area. He has decharges available to start assailing it quickly. Again, you can't do so on the first round, but still a fast hidden deployment trooper that can go and plant some bombs, I think is great. I also think troops that are very mobile are helpful for this, particularly if they can dodge really well. So, like, something that comes to mind there would be maybe like a Shikami, that they can move, they dodge fairly reliably on, a 14, I think?
Yeah.
And they get a 2-inch bonus to their dodge, and so they can jump 6 or 8 inches. I forget if they're 6. No, they're 6'2". So they can jump 8 inches.
Yep.
Away carrying the prototype. Then they can dodge 4 more inches potentially and get around the baggage requirement in a way. So move dodging is really good for running away with a prototype. So maneuverable units like that, I think, are very, very valuable.
Bikes.
Again, back to bikes. Bikes are a great option. Something like a Garuda is great. You can get into a hard to reach spot potentially, depending on what the table looks like. So yeah, things that move quickly, I think you're going to definitely want, because you can grab the prototype early, and you can do that right away. Because I feel like your first turn is generally going to be either consolidating defenses around the prototype that your opponent is trying to capture, so your prototype, or just attacking the enemy where you can to try and attrition them out. If you're not grabbing yours, that is, or grabbing the enemies, that is. So yeah, so fast units, whether they're just naturally fast on movement, ideally if they have special maneuverability skills like climbing plus or super jump, infiltrating units, which is especially nice because there's a fair number of skirmishers that have decharges on them, so they're already equipped to go after your prototype.
Oh yeah.
Again, not on the first turn, but the fact that they can be up the field already is quite valuable. But yeah, other things that kind of jump out at you in terms of stuff that you would want to have access to for this.
A really good top tier gunfighter to first turn go kill all of my opponent's stuff that's going to come after the one that I need to grab.
Sure. Or again, something fast. Like, all right, well, there's a flyer job.
Yeah.
Send some area units to go hunting things.
But yeah, like I think this mission does well with kind of a generalist list that you can put some infiltration or forward deployment decharges or anti-material weapons in, because having some strong arrows, having a good gunfighter, things that you're going to take anyway in most lists, those are going to be useful here.
Sure.
It's also going to be useful to have some different specialists because 3 classifieds.
Yep, exactly. I was going to touch on that in just a sec. So, how much? Now, 3 points on classifieds, especially diverse classifieds. I feel like that's a point where you really need to start thinking about how you're going to accomplish those. And I agree that a general list is going to go into corporate appropriation reasonably well, because you don't need specialists for any of the primary mission objectives. And I mean, honestly, even a lot of classifieds don't require a specialist necessarily.
Yeah.
So,
but there are uses for them in this, between the classifieds, keeping your guys up, maybe engineering the thing to keep it surviving. There's some reasons to have specialists, just for them being specialists, which is awesome. But yeah, I think that a generalist list that you tweak to include those infiltration and forward deployment profiles is going to be a very solid choice for this mission.
Yeah, for sure. So, what would be one of your top picks for something to go after and destroy your prototype? What do you feel like are some of the best of the best things that could be bought for that purpose?
Like Murrow.
Murrow's pretty good.
Yeah.
He swings pretty well. He's martial arts 3, right? So he gets the special die?
Yeah.
Yeah, and on CC 23? 4?
Yep. Yeah, he's fairly high up on the CC.
And he's it's APDA on his weapon, I want to say. PS, I want to say 4 again?
Yeah, it's a PS3 APDA.
3.
On 23 with just the one die, though. Martial Arts 2.
Martial Arts. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But
pretty solid. And he's fast.
Yeah, pretty solid. Yeah, he's fast. He's 6'4". The immunity arm and armor 4 is going to make him fairly resilient getting there. And then Phys 16, so he's dodging solidly if he needs to getting there, and he's dodging 4 inches. So he's got a super awesome chance to get there. He has super jump, so he's going to be fast. And he's got 2 vitality and dogged. So he's got, you got to get through some stuff to put him down. So I think, if you could take him, he's super solid to get in there to do that. Anything else that has, like AP explosive, which obviously decharges are, but any CC weapon that has AP explosive is going to be awesome against this as well, especially if it's on a fast platform.
For sure. Yeah, I like that he's good at both. He's good at destroyers and capturing the opponents, potentially. Another one that kind of comes to mind for me that's pretty similar is Shona. She's not as tough as he is, but she can take a hit usually. She is getting 2 full burst, which is nice. So she's got a good chance. And she's AP explosive on only 1 burst PS at 4.
Yeah.
She's got a really chance of knocking it out. If both of those land, I feel like it's basically done, which is nice. She's super jump as well, 6'2" move. So she can move around, and she dodges on 17s with 2 extra inches. So she's actually very much like a less tough but more hitty McMurrow in that way. Though I'm still kind of partial to the Daciu for this purpose. I like not having to worry about it. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not on the table. I can just move up there. I can start placing bombs. I don't have to roll. And saving on 9s, like you probably won't kill it the first decharge, but over the course of 2 to 3 decharges, you've got a good chance of destroying it.
Oh yeah. Some other options you have, like Pavel is super key, like ideal for taking this on, destroying that, because he has basically all of the skills that you want. So he's got camouflage. He has forward deployment 8 inches, so he can start right there where 1 move is going to get him onto it. He has a CC of 23 with martial arts 3, so he's going to swing 1 in a special die. He has decharges. And if you don't want to go that route, he has a PS5 APT2 weapon.
Sure. Yeah. That's kind of fun.
And yeah, so it's going to be crazy. The other one that, again, you got to get him there, but like Caden has an solid extra burst and an APT2 weapon, which is just crazy. And also at PS5. He's only martial arts 1, so he gets no bonus there, but he does have the plus burst on his profile. So, and he's got climbing plus. and he's a 6'2" move with dodge plus 2 inches. So, he's got some mobility. Van Zant, like, got upgraded to an APTT weapon, and he's just going to walk in on the side of the board outside of the exclusion zone, but be within 2 orders effectively of getting there. So there is some solid options. I know I'm just talking about Ariadna, but that's what I've been playing. So there are some solid options in there, but just wanted to see like what is the APT2 options, because that is just absolutely the grossest combination to go after something like this, because you really only need to hit it once or twice effectively to take it out. You don't have to do these multiple points of damage. You just I got a couple in and it's just gone.
Yeah, it is on a little bit of an awkward spot because most of those are only throwing one real die. So unless you crit, you're not getting it off the table in one shot anyway.
Yeah.
But the option for APT2 is fun because T2 is anti-material.
Yes, it is.
And I think Achilles is a great candidate for this, of course.
Yeah.
He hits hard. He gets 2 full dice. He's on a 24 to swing. It's an explosive PS4 weapon, if I recall.
Mm-hmm.
Or PS5. So PS5 explosive. Now that kind of puts it into just the wrong side of a coin flip per save. But you can force 6 saves at a time, so that's not too bad. So something like that, better than like Sheepskin Wood, for instance, with a DA weapon.
Yeah.
So there's some fun options for CC. I mean, otherwise, the D route, I think it's really just anything fast that can get there. Like an infiltrator under a martyr state, for instance. All of those can do that just fine. It's just a lot less exciting than swinging at it with a close combat weapon.
Yeah.
But it does open yourself up to the ADS, of course, and there's going to be that time you're going to roll, and it's going to be like Achilles rolled a 5 and a 7 and get stunned.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to have a bad time, but it's cool. It's cool to hit it with my sword.
Yeah. Yeah, as in, like, of course, JSA stuff, like, throw a Shizuku into it, Berserk into it to get the extra move and swing with your PS4 APDA weapon with Martial Arts 3. So get that nice extra special die on it. There's lots of cool stuff that you can do.
Yeah.
Just want to play things and CC them now.
Right? CC's fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Exciting. So, that said, what are your thoughts on the initiative roll? If you win the initiative roll in corporate appropriation, do you feel like you are leaning towards a snap pick one way or another?
I'm going first.
Barring snap pick first. Unless there's like a significant table disparity or something, of course.
Yeah. Because if I've built my list right, it shouldn't matter which of the prototypes I'm trying to do what to. My opponent picks, like, sure, cool. But I've built my list correctly, so I have things that are keyed to go for each one, and then I just deploy them in positions to go after those. But, again, table dependent. If there is an extreme disparity where I just absolutely cannot have my opponent have a certain side, sure. But almost every single time, if I have the option to go first, I'm going first because I want to grab my opponent's prototype and get it back to my deployment zone as fast as possible, and then just focus on destroying theirs in the second turn.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I feel like it is more of a first turn favored mission. I don't think it's, if you go second, you are going to be at a severe disadvantage. But I think that it's not strong enough that I would rather go second. Because even being able to select the prototype, you have to go after both prototypes anyway to maximize scoring. So you're going to have to do it one way or another, is generally the idea. And like you said, because you can pick up the opponent's prototype starting the first round, if there's not good attack vectors anyway, and sometimes even if there are a few and you want to go after some things, you can kind of still split the difference, especially if you use something fast. They can grab the prototype. My mind just went back to OSS with the Shavada Houndbots that are six super jump and have +3 dodge with 2 inches bonus distance.
Yeah.
Yep. That seems like a great unit to go grab things with.
Yeah. Now, really, the only to me compelling reason to go second is solely the ability to swing the score by 3 points by killing the model that has captured your prototype. Because if they capture it, they get back in the deployment zone, and you're like, oh, I popped that guy, done. There's 2 to 3 points that they are no longer getting. That's it.
And then you score a point from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as much as a 4-point swing if they had it in their DZ, which is pretty potent.
Yeah. And that's like the only reason that I would consider going second is that. But I don't, for me, I don't think that that weighs heavily enough to persuade me not to go first.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. Like, it is, I do enjoy having final say on objectives, but because it would
just bury the guy so deep that you're not gonna have a very high chance to be able to pull that off. Like, that's what my goal is in going first, is I'm just going to grab it and I'm going to run away, and good luck digging it out of whatever hole I put it in with all kinds of stuff around it. I'm not saying it can't happen, because every game of Infinity, you find the way to get in there. It can definitely happen.
Sure.
It's going to happen in a way you didn't even see coming.
Right.
But I'm going to make it really hard.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you have the opportunity to get it pretty deep, and without necessarily being that many orders, depending on the piece you're using and how the table looks.
Yeah, because if I already got a guy starting there and I just let me spend an order to grab it, and then let me just spend orders to run away with it, especially if I'm doing the move dodge, and then
it could be a piece just in your second. Yeah, if you have a small group of 4 to 6 orders, if there's not something opposing that, that's plenty.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. And even if somebody does cross the table into your DZ, knocks out the guy with it and grabs it, how are they really going to be able to get with it? With how many orders that should take? So yeah, I might feel different if you also couldn't capture a prototype starting round 1. Then maybe I'd be more inclined to want to say which prototype is which, as well as the, I'll have a chance to set up. I know that you can't take it, so I can go collide with you in the midfield and fight over it. Maybe.
I think I would still lean towards going first in that situation, just so I can focus on consolidating territory in the midfield and removing your ability to oppose it when I do grab it in the second turn.
Sure. Yeah, I think it would still be reasonable, but I feel like it might be enough
a little
more to consider it more thoughtfully.
Yeah.
So, yeah, speaking of, if you're going second then and you get the choice you want, game plan. I think one thing that will help quite a bit, that you mentioned somewhat, is like mines and mine layer. You are stymied somewhat by the exclusion zone, but perimeter weapons are very good for that purpose, because they can trigger on and around the prototype even with the exclusion zone. They'll be able to hit something within range and comfortably tucked away. So I think
Yeah.
those are solid options.
Yeah, I still like the mines just because, again, table dependent, but if you're able to deploy it right on the edge of the exclusion zone, the mine will cover the objective.
Sure.
So I do like that, but you are correct in that perimeter weapons become much more appealing if you have access to those. And
Yeah.
are there infiltrating mine layers with perimeter weapons?
The most notable one is the Moran Masai.
Yeah, yeah.
There's also the Yaksha attack bot that has mad traps
Yep.
that starts with one out. They're kind of
Yeah.
fun.
Mad
And
traps are
they're
fun.
FD8, so they can deploy at the exclusion zone as well.
Yeah.
That one also has a +1 special die EM carbine, which is pretty neat under a camo marker.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's other stuff that I think would still work, are something like the Cyclone Sputnik. Especially if you take if you're in Tunguska, because I believe they lose forward deployment outside of Tunguska. But if you have that, they're mine layer 2 crazy koalas with 4-inch forward deployment, which is enough to put it out to where you can almost reach it, I guess. I guess that might not be enough.
Yeah,
I
because
think you need at least FD8 to comfortably cover it.
yeah, because if
Otherwise,
you're
just touching it.
4, you're touching the center line. They have half the silhouette on the other side, so you're not hitting into that zone of control.
Yeah, so unless they happen to have to go around for some reason, like maybe it's touching a wall or something, but that's not something you can count on.
Some terrain things, but yeah, you wouldn't be able to count on it as a rule. Mine dispensers are another way to do that. So you can get stuff up on there. Similar thing with pitchers and repeaters, depending on what your opponent's playing. If they may be going in with stuff that needs hacked, even if they're not. If you have a guided missile bot, that could also be a pretty good deterrent. Just throwing that on, and then they run away with it, and then you just blow them up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, once you have a turn, it gets a lot easier, for sure. But I think mine layer and just, of course, any long range arrows that you can set up are kind of your best bets.
I know I'm putting a Vistra with an autocannon, looking right at it. Have fun.
There you go. More anti-tank rifle.
Yeah. The anti-tank rifle that can't actually hurt it with the anti-tank rifle.
That's true.
Yeah, I get it's a gameplay thing, but it always annoyed me on a lot of these missions. It's like I can only do it with CC because it's like I have all these cool anti-material guns, but it makes the mission absolutely trivial if you can shoot the objectives.
Right. Exactly. Yep, not really all that fun to do it that way. I do like when there are some elements you can shoot with anti-material weapons.
Yeah, like the rare time.
Like the heaters, right? In Frostbite?
Yeah.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah, because it's like we have all these guns with anti-material, but the anti-material trait on the gun never comes up. Except for that one mission.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, it's an interesting mission. I do think that, generally speaking, going first is going to help because you should be able to grab the prototype. Now, there are some tools out there that if you're playing into a faction that can guard those more readily. Like Amaran is also annoying for that purpose, not just for the crazy koala, but also the repeater. And so that is, if they deploy on the line or near it, anybody getting within range will be in hacking area. And so that can be kind of tricky to navigate.
Yep.
So,
also, models with guard could be fun.
Yeah. That's a good shout.
If you have them at an angle where they can see the objective, but they can't be seen from like long range shots because of the terrain. Like that could be a lot of fun. Yeah, just please walk over here to take this and eat my whatever nasty guard dog attack.
Yeah, that reminds me of the first time I played this. It was a little after right around the next one, next wave launch.
Yeah.
And the Juggernaut is hilarious for this mission because it's 8-2 climbing plus. So it's pretty fast and can go into weird places. And it doesn't really suffer much from losing the second half of its move. And it has guard and it has +1 burst. And so, it's not the hardest hitting CC unit in the game, but it is pretty funny and can kind of do the whole mission by itself almost.
Yeah, I can. Gross.
But, yeah, it's pretty neat. Battle Kitty.
New Battle Kitty.
New Battle Kitty. No, not old Sujian Battle Kitty.
Although I do kind of like the OG Sujian, where it's just like the weird 4-legged like combat robot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like kind of a regular remote almost.
Yeah.
A bit more like rounded and carapace like.
Yeah. But the transforming cat Sujian is definitely peak.
For sure. Well, with that said, I think we're just about ready to wrap up. But before we do, we want to give a sincere thank you to our patrons. We really appreciate your support of the show. It really helps us do what we do and makes it so we can do cool projects. It helps take care of various costs for the show. And yeah, so for instance, if you are coming to the Krug this year, we're planning to do a new patch as we have had the last couple of years, so that everyone will get one of those. So make sure to come to the Corvus Belly Krug if you can.
Yep. And that event is going to be from October 1st through 4th here at the Convention Center in Denver, Colorado. So we're going to be 120 to 150 players. It's going to be super awesome. Come on out. It's going to be great. It's one of the best, if not the best event in all of North America. I am a little biased being from here, but I have attended some other events, and it is this is the top one. So looking forward to seeing everybody there.
So yeah, we'd love to have you out. And even if you're not able to make it, if you are looking to support the show financially, you can find us over at patreon.com/metachemistry, where we have some various tiers to try and give back in show of gratitude for your support. Things like early access to episodes, final voting on polls, and some private channels on the Discord. And if that's not your cup of tea, then we'd still love to have you on the Discord. It is, other than those couple channels, is a freely open and available community, and we'd love to get your feedback there. If you want to come talk about your super secret tech for corporate appropriation, or if you want to talk about things you'd like to hear for future episodes, or you just need another server to talk about Infinity, we'll have you there. And the description will have the link as always. So, with that said, Ian, final thoughts on corporate appropriation?
I like the mission. It's a lot of fun. It does something a little bit different with the capture this, destroy that, but both being on the center line and not consistently on one side or the other, picked mission by mission. And yeah, I like that it's a little bit different than what we've seen before, but also not overly complicated. It's still a fairly simple mission, which is kind of nice because while they can be a lot of fun, and I always love new missions and stuff like that, there are a lot of missions that do get really complicated and have a lot of moving parts, and it can lead to things being forgotten and in the moment in the game, and then going, oh, well, we did this wrong, or we completely forgot this, and that the game might have played out completely differently if it had been played actually according to what it's supposed to be, but both players missed something or whatever. So
Never had that happen.
The mission. Yeah, never, not once. I do really like this mission because, I said, it does something a little different, but still keeps it fairly simple. Doesn't have a ton of moving parts to keep track of. You just got to remember, which of the prototypes is the one you're capturing, which one is the one you're destroying. That's
Exactly.
the most complicated part of it, really. Minor things like, I can only move unless I have baggage, and then I can move, things like that. But that's still relatively minor. It's not a whole lot of, I need to do this, and then this, and then this, and then this in order to do the things. It's fairly simple, does it in an interesting way. I like the mission. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I think that's fun and interesting. I agree that it is not a wildly complex mission, and that can be kind of refreshing. And yeah, I think it is a solid mission, and I like that it is, because if every mission is a skewed or build around or list defining mission, then things get really difficult on how you try and plan in an event. So it's good to have missions like these that can be fairly approachable. I think that while it's just generally good play in my mind to do a quick inventory at the beginning of your turns in terms of checking out what you need to accomplish, I think this benefits a little bit extra from just taking a moment to, because there's so many classifieds, double checking your cards and seeing what you can reasonably accomplish, double checking the prototypes, making sure you know which one is yours that you want to destroy and which one is your opponent's that you want to capture. Just taking 2 minutes or less to double check those things in your mind and make sure that you can move forward confidently instead of accidentally getting over to the one that you didn't mean to. Here's your not very fast CC specialist that is going to get to the enemy one, and you meant to grab it with your fast moving unit instead, or vice versa. It's really easy to waste orders if you aren't paying attention on what you need to have done for that. But yeah, I don't know why. I'm not sure what it is that my brain doesn't like about that, but it does happen. I do have to take a moment to check, and usually I'm fine with it, but I feel like I have to take that concerted effort. And maybe, just because I don't play well, that might be all of it. But yeah, I feel like taking some time to verify your objectives, it's good all the time, but I think it's extra important here because it can be easy for some people to mix up what objective is where.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, on behalf of Metachemistry, this has been Devin
and Ian, and that's the meta.